Okay. Hello, Professor Cazanave. Um, this is my video for diversity issues and social work practice, the final that talks about the racial identity development. So, upon reading this fancy paper, I was very surprised because I had no idea that there were stages, which is why I enjoyed taking diversity because I feel like I'm learning so many more new things and it's opening my eyes to a world of, you know. But then at the same time, I'm like, wow, like. I'm sorry, y'all. Or Professor Kazanov, that is Tamar in the background. Sorry. So, as I was saying, it is opening me to viewing the world differently because now I'm realizing there's steps and I'm, white fragility and all these fancy things we're learning in class. So, yeah. So, the racial identity development theory, and I feel like I looked more at the people of color because I am a person of color. So I didn't really even look at the white one because for what? But so basically, it is the steps in where you are in your racial process, so how you identify yourself. So for the people of color one, there are 5 stages, and I will go through everyone that I'm at, everyone that I've been through, and then talk about which one that I identify with in the stage. And I'll still hit the ones that I haven't gone yet, but I feel like I'm at 2. And I don't know if you could be at 2 stages, but I feel like I'm at 2 kind of. So, yeah. I'm sorry, my head is so itchy. Little backstory. Just pretending we don't know each other. I'm from Atlanta. I grew up on the south side of Atlanta in Clayton County, Riverdale. Yes. I grew up with majority people of color. I don't remember having white people in my classes. Or non-people of color. I guess that's the proper term. I don't remember having non-people of color in my classrooms. I've always just had it'll be 1 or 2, and then the 1 or 2 would be culture appropriators. Yeah. So, I grew up there, so I feel like some of these stages that I'm at, I feel like I hit them a little earlier in the game, but you know what? As I was reading, it said that most people of color go through, they reach some stages before they start the stages before white people start the stages, or non-people of color, or whatever the correct term is. So, stage 1 is conformity. I can't see because I'm blind. Okay, stage 1 is conformity, which is basically preference for the values and norms of dominant culture, strong desire to assimilate into dominant culture. So, in my case, the dominant culture would have been people of color, because I grew up around people of color. So I would like to say I hit that stage around, I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. Couldn't tell you. I started to hit that stage around middle school. Yeah, 6th grade. So I want to say maybe younger than that. Maybe 5th, 4th grade. Yeah. Especially, being African, growing up African, but also growing up Black, it's a difference. So there are some things that black families do that African families don't. Like there's some, so sometimes I would feel weird when people would talk about like the things that they do. Like, okay, so like Thanksgiving, we used to have African food for Thanksgiving. So when people come being like, oh yeah, like I had collard greens and cornbread and like potato salad and all that, I'd be like, girl, I had some rice, a whole bunch of meats, rice, some like moi moi. You don't know what that is, Professor Cotton, no, but it's real good. Like I would feel weird. So I started to, even like the way I dressed was different, because I was African. Like my mom didn't know about weaves. So like my hair used to like, it would be in braids a lot. Whereas like most girls in the 5th grade was getting silk presses and stuff. So I started getting me some silk presses because that's around the time I was like, I want to say 9, 10-ish. That was the first time I got my first silk press. I started dressing like them, like, buying my Uggs. Even like simple things like getting my nails done, like it wasn't the norm to my family. But in the black, I don't know if you know, but in the black community, like we get our nails done, we get our toes done, we get our lashes done, we get our hair done, like stuff like that. Like, yeah. So when I saw these people like coming to school with full sets, I was like, wow, like y'all look good. Like, and my mama didn't even let me get nails. Like I used to sneak nails. Like I would go and like, okay, so this is a part of the assimilation part, right? I used to go sneak nails from Walmart, and I used to just pop them things on. And then when I came home, I popped them right off. And just pop them on. So yeah. So I would say that was around the age. And like, I did used to have a negative, I used to hate saying that. Like, that's why I go by Nicole, That's why Nicole is a name. Because people used to call me Chi Chi or Chinaza. And like, I just hated it. I hated it because then you would have girls at my school named Keisha or Ashanti, Amonti, like pretty, beautiful black names. And girl, my name is Shanaza, but now that I'm thinking about it, like, that's a black name, Nicole. Like, what are you thinking about? So, yeah, whatever. So, yeah. So, I would tell people, oh, yeah, I'm black. And then they would see, and it would help. It's not like my parents, my mom wasn't dark, like African dark. I don't know if that makes sense because my mom is mixed. So, my mom is very light-skinned. She's very light-skinned with freckles. So, when you see my mom, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, she's black. Like, and then you see my dad, oh, she's black. So I used to just run with it. Like, yep, I'm black. Stop. It wasn't until later on in my life that I became accepting of and started loving my African roots. So yeah, okay. So that was that stage. And then we have stage number 2 with the dissonance. I know that's not how to say it. Dissonance. Okay. Which is when an individual begins to question pro-white attitude and behaviors. Individuals alternate between self and group appreciation and depreciating attitudes and behavior, and there is confusion. So the first one is denial. Second one is confusion. This step is interesting because I would say this happened in this happened in my freshman year of high school. I know that I'm scratching like I got lice, but that's not what it is. I think I'm just uncomfortable in my shirt. Okay, so in my freshman year of high school, that was the first time I ever personally saw my brother deal with like police brutality. So he had got arrested and he had recorded on his phone the police officer arresting him. and they was like calling him all types of names. They were like, he said that they planted stuff in his car, and it turns out they did. It was a whole case. So that was like my first run-in with, like, I was gonna say something so inappropriate. I forgot this was a school project. But yeah, that was the first time I experienced that, and yeah. So that was, and come also once again, my mom is African, so to her, she's an immigrant from Nigeria. She immigrated. She immigrated from Nigeria. So to her, America is. She migrated. Thank you, Tamar, from Nigeria. So to her, this is the land of the free, home of the braves. Like everything is perfect. Like, to her, sometimes I'd be arguing with her because she would really be like, but okay, there are like some like the white neighborhoods are better, the black neighborhoods are better. So yeah, so this is where I had that confusion of like, this is where I don't want to say hate for white people, but this is where my beef with white people started. Yes, like I felt like they got away because those police officers did not get charged. The charges just got dropped. And I bet you they still working, being racist, beating on little black boys. So this is the first time where, I don't know, my eyes open. So that was freshman year of high school that I got to stage 2. Then we have stage 3, which is where I feel like I am right now, kind of, which is individuals embrace their own ethnic and racial group, completely blind endorsement of one's groups and all of the values and attitudes attributed to the group. Individuals accept racism and oppression as reality, rejection of the values and norms associated with a dominant group. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I know for a fact that's where I'm at because, yeah, I'm ready to dismantle the system. Not gonna lie, I'm ready. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm ready. Like, I feel like I am tired. You know what? When people are, okay, so for example, let's talk about it, like the Kyle Rittenhouse case. Like, stuff like that happens. And I just be like, how are we still surprised? What is surprising about that? There is racism. There is oppression. There's like all these factors in this world that's keeping us from being great. And then they're just like, oh, forget it. Okay, you're saying forgive and forget, but teaching critical race theory is such a problem in your schools. Obviously, you have something to hide. But the joke's on you because we know. We know. We're aware. That's where I'm at right now. And I do feel like I'm very biased to people of color. I feel like we should be able to do, what we see fit, because they do what they see fit. They do whatever they want. They act however they want. Like, for the fact that there has to be classes on diversity, I think that's insane. I do. But I'm supposed to understand. Oh, you have to understand they didn't grow up any better. Okay, so understand that I don't want to see my brother shot and killed just because he's walking down the street with a hoodie on and some Skittles in his hand. Understand that. But no, I'm the one who has to understand. So I feel like this is definitely where I'm at. I get angry, as you can see. I get very passionate when I talk about stuff like this. This is why I want to go into the major of social work so I can change. Okay, let me move on before I get too mad. And then stage 4, introspection. Individuals develop a security in their racial identity that allows them questioning rigid resistance attitude, redirect anger and negativity toward the white system. This is what I was talking about. I feel like I'm in that stage 3 and stage 4. I feel like, as stated before, I'm ready to dismantle the system whenever sees fit. Like, just call me and I'll be front and center. Okay? I do feel like in a past life I was a Black Panther. And I feel like I'm just angry. But you know what? Then again, sometimes I'm like, okay, what's the point of being angry? Because you're being angry at stuff that they don't care. They don't care if I'm angry. Like, I could be angry. I could try to make a difference, and they don't care. So, I don't know. That's where I'm at. So, stage 4. And then finally, where I know I'm not at is stage 5. Synergenic articulation and awareness. You know how I know I'm not at that stage? Because I can't pronounce them words. That's how I know I'm not at that stage. I know for a fact that's not where I'm at. To be at that stage, I would have to understand everything, but however, understand the other side. So I'm still not okay. You know, when I was learning about white fragility, I was sitting in class just taking notes mad. Because I was like, what? And you know what? You said it, Professor Kavanaugh, that would be hard for me to understand because, I don't know. I guess maybe that's me looking how they feel. Like, it's hard for them to understand things. But how is inclusion hard for you to understand? That's not where I'm at. I'm not at stage 5. When I get to stage 5, I will personally send you an email and tell you I'm here. So yeah. So that's that. Okay, provide an explanation about your understanding of where you are. Oh. I just did that. Yeah. I just did that kind of. So, okay. Identify action 3 through 5 identify 3 to 5 action steps you will take to continue your development. Okay, to continue my development, yes, I did say that I don't understand why, like, okay, I appreciate the diversity class. I actually love the diversity class because it opens my eyes. So I will continue to take more classes like that. Because it just proves that just because I am a person of color, I don't know all these terms. I don't know, like, this class taught me actually what microaggression was. This class taught me actually what white fragility was. So, like, I think it's important to keep stuff like that in mind. So I'll continue to take classes and be open-minded. Step number 2 is I will take steps. I feel like I can be very close-minded towards other races. And you know what? Just because you're close-minded to just because one side is close-minded to you doesn't mean you have to be close-minded to the other side. So I feel like I need to learn. I'm still learning. I'm recently learning that everyone did not grow up like me. Everyone was not a past Black Panther. So I need to understand that it's a learning process for everyone. So sometimes having those conversations with white people or non-people of no color helps. I don't know what to call them. I don't know if white people is offensive, so who knows. Okay, and then another step I will take is to continue being an advocate. That's why I love social work, because I'm an advocate. I get to yell at people. Not yell, but passionately tell them my side and tell you why you're wrong, okay? And why you're being unjust. Like, I just love being an advocate. That's my favorite part about social work. It's just so fun. So, yeah. So those are 3 steps I will take. And now we're hitting 20 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this. Professor Kavanaugh, I love you, girl. You're my favorite teacher. Okay, bye.